Suppose you want to estimate the percentage of stat students who passed the departmental final exam. You take a sample of 50 stat students and grade their finals first to get an estimate. Match the following: the percentage of all stat students who passed the departmental final exam, a single stat student, all stat students, the percentage of 50 stat students who passed the departmental final exam, 50 stat students, whether or not they passed the final. Well, let's walk through the definitions. So first off, we have individual, and an individual is a single item within a study. And the one that sounds like the single item within a study is the second one here. This sounds like an individual, because that says a stat student, so just one stat student. A sample, that is a subgroup of a population. Of these, I would say all stat students would be our population, because we're taking these results and generalizing to all stat students. But the ones that are being studied are the 50 students that were chosen at random, and that would be our sample. So populations are all items in a study. A statistic. This is going to be a calculation based on a sample. And of the ones we have here, we have the percentage of all stat students who pass the departmental final. And since that says all, that sounds like a population, so that's probably a parameter. Then we have next the percentage of 50 stat students who pass the departmental final exam. That sounds like a statistic, because we're only referring to the 50 in the sample, and we're looking at the percent who passed. And so that's a calculation based on a sample, so that would be a statistic. The variable is the item studied. So the thing that's being studied here. And what's being studied is whether or not a stat student passed the final. So this would be our variable. And last, a parameter is, we can think of it as a calculation based on a population. But mostly, because we don't have the population to work with, we really think of a parameter in terms of taking a statistic and generalizing that statistic to the entire population. So if we generalize the percentage of 50 stat students to the entire population, to all stat students that is, that's the parameter in question.